Welcome to the Getting Started with UltipaGraph. You can log into cloud.ultipa.com with either Gmail ID or GitHub user ID, and you can opt for the free trial version of UltipaGraph. And once you get access to the UltipaGraph, you will be provided with access to Graph Powerhouse free trial. You will also be provided with a password, but please note that the default user ID is root. I repeat, the default user ID is root. And once you get the password, you can click on the connect, and this is the window you will get. Please note again, I would like to repeat, you will get the default user ID as root. And let's go on and now see how we can create the various nodes and edges for our first graph. Our first graph is focused on creating a graph data model for London tubes. Now this is what I do first. I have the code for creating the various nodes. Now this is the list of stations I have. So this is what I do. Insert into at station. At station is essentially the node name, and followed by a default column called underscore ID, which is a common column for all the nodes as well as all the edges, and any other property that I would like to add. Now in this case, right, I would like to add a property called station name. Before I go ahead and run this query, I will have to go and create the schema first, and this is the code for creating the schema. So first I go ahead and create a schema, create node schema, which means that create a node called a station, and also create a edge schema called a tube axis. And I would like to add a property called a station name. So I have created a node called a station, I have created a edge called tube axis, and I have added a property called station name to the node called station. And once I do that, I can come back here and create this, take this code, populate nodes. So here, right, since the name of the node is station, I will simply call insert into at station, and I will have to supply the values for the nodes. Remember, the nodes have a default property called underscore ID, and right, I have created a property called a station name, so I fill it up with the list of station names. I can go ahead and execute this query here, and you have to choose UQL. There are two options, one is GQL, another is UQL, and once you supply the query here and click on the execute, you will be able to see the list of nodes here. Now if you see under node I, you have under station you have 359 nodes, which is what we execute from this particular query, populate nodes stations. Okay, in the next step, right, I will have to create the edges, right, from which station to which station your tube actually connects to. So this is what I have next. Now insert into at tube axis. Remember we created a no edge called tube axis, so I will have to call this method insert into at tube axis. Now remember, just like, right, the nodes have underscore ID property, the edges also have a default property called underscore from and underscore to. Now depending on from which station to which station a tube actually connects, I have created the IDs here, underscore from underscore to, and I can copy and paste the code here, and once I run it, right, this is what I will get. Under edge, right, you have 419 connects. Now how do I validate whatever I have done works correctly? Now this will be our first query, the test query. This is the first test query. I am trying to figure out what are the stations, right. Now how do I go from one station to another station? One is the station number ID 229, and another is the ID 320. Now if you go and look at the excels, right, our excel sheet, go and do the filter. So one is the station name 229, so that is Oxford Circus. So I would like to go from Oxford Circus to 320. So what is another route? I'll go and choose 320. So from Oxford Circus to Victoria, how do I go? Now if I go and come back and refer the graph, I execute this graph. So from Oxford Circus, I want to go to Victoria. How do I connect? So this is what I do. I would like to figure out the path. So what I do is AB. I would like to find out the path from AB. So what I do is AB and then specify the source ID, underscore ID equal to 229, and then I specify the destination ID 320. Depth is the number of steps. So when I say depth equal to 2, right, restrict yourself to a path which has only one connecting node, and I define the path as P, and then I say return P. So now I go and execute. This is what I get. So if we come back here, So this is my first Oxford Circus. Next is Green Park. Next is Victoria. So for what I have to do is I can start from Oxford Circus, go to Green Park, and from there Green Park I can go to Victoria. So if I want only one connection node, if I would like to figure out a path which consists of only one node between the two places, right? This is what I should do. From Oxford Circus I can go to Green Park, and from Green Park I can go to Victoria. Let's validate the results. So if I come back here to the Excel, so choose the London routes. Yeah, from Oxford Circus. So this is what I do first. From Oxford Circus I take. So from Oxford Circus I can go to Green Park. Then I choose Green Park. I have connection to Victoria. So this is the path I have to take from Oxford Circus to Green Park to Victoria. This is what I can figure out from the Excel sheet. And if you go to the graph, right, this is what you also get from the graph. So this is a sample program with the data set as to see how you can create the nodes edges quickly, and also query the graph that you have created in UltipaGraph. Thank you.